Morning.
I am always in a hurry. I walk fast, I talk fast, I drive way too fast. I schedule appointments too close together. I'm always rushing to keep up. My mom says I was born in a hurry, literally. In the wee hours in the morning in February of 1963, my mom's water broke. She and my dad knew the drill. They had 2 daughters already. He rushed her to the Baylor Hospital in Dallas, Texas. My mom was whisked away into the delivery room. The nurses poured cold water on her to keep her from having me until the doctor could get into the room. And 11 minutes after they arrived at the hospital, I made my arrival. And I haven't slowed down since. I learned how to walk when I was 8 months old. I was speaking in complete sentences before I was 3. I account for both of those with my oldest sister. She was 6 years old when I was born. She thought I was her real life baby doll. My parents said when they brought me home, she took over. I went to school every day. She was destined to be a mom. She now has 6 children of her own. But my parents always say that I was really her first. As a youngster, I thought life was great. I had 2 moms. I had 2 sisters. I had an amazing dad. When I was really young, I wanted to marry him. When I was a teenager, we butted heads or we laughed hysterically. As an adult, he became my confidant. He was the first person I called no matter what happened. As a teenager, when I was 15, I was really itching to get my driver's license and get my car. My 18-year-old middle sister had just graduated from high school. She had not gotten a car yet, she hadn't gotten a job, and she didn't want to go to college, so my dad made a deal. He told her, you get a job, you save $1,000, I'll match it, we'll buy you a car. I was 15, and I excitedly said, what about me? Can I do the same thing? So he laughed, but he said yes. So on my 16th birthday, I got a job, and I got my driver's license. 3 months later, I had the $1,000, and my dad and I started our car buying tradition. My dad liked to meticulously plan. We would do our research, and then we would go to the dealerships, and we would play good cop, bad cop. I was the good cop. Needless to say, we never fooled anyone, but we always got the price we wanted, and we always had a great time doing it. Then came high school. Graduated from high school early because I wanted to get a head start on college. I was saving my money because my parents told me if I went away to school, I had to pay for it myself. So I wanted to go to UT, so I had to pay for it myself. I was still with the same company. I started when I was 16 years old. They transferred me to Austin, so I was at UT. Life was great. I'm at UT. In the spring of 1986, things in Texas weren't looking so good. People were walking away from their homes, the S&Ls were failing, businesses were closing, and Tom Thumb, the place I worked, started closing stores, including mine. So I had to switch jobs. That was fine. I worked for another company, finished out the semester, and then I got this huge promotion. I was so excited, but it was to Houston. Houston? How am I going to go to UT in Houston? And Houston, the crime capital of America. That's what I thought. So I thought, I'll just go for the summer. We'll see what happens. So I was here for 3 days, and then T-tops got stolen off of my car. So I reaffirmed my crime capital of America. 2 weeks after I got here, I met the man I was going to marry. Then I really had to change my plan. What was I going to do? Well, I guess I'd transfer to U of H. After talking to about 15 people at U of H who kept saying, why are you here? You didn't fail out of UT. That's the only reason anybody comes to UT. I'm here for love. And they would just smile at me and never say anything. So in 1988, I got married. In 1989, I graduated from college. 8 years after I graduated from high school, so I told everybody I was on the 10-year plan. I got out 2 years early. In 1991, I got divorced. Maybe there really was something to those knowing smiles. So I was working, I worked at Westinghouse, and I really set my eyes on consulting. I wanted to be a consultant. Talked to some companies, they all told me we don't hire people without MBAs. I nagged one man for a solid year until he agreed to bring me on without an MBA. And I was a consultant. I was so excited. The first person that asked me what I did, and I said, I'm a consultant. And he said, what, you couldn't find a real job? But that's okay. I was not to be deterred. I had tripled my income. I was in the fast lane. Life was good. And then I got the phone call. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I didn't know what it was. It was cancer. My dad had cancer. Started chemo. I would come to Dallas every came to Dallas every other weekend. They got into remission. Life was good again. His hair came back. He gained weight. It was all good. And then a year later, it came back. 7 weeks later, I watched him take his last breath. That was when my world stopped. And then I realized the world was still turning, so I needed to keep moving. So I started looking at if consulting was really what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I wasn't sure. So I started investing in houses. And then I started thinking, maybe I'll buy an apartment complex. And then I thought, well, I kind of like commercial real estate. Maybe I'll be a commercial real estate broker. So next thing I knew, I'd gotten my license and gotten into commercial real estate. I was on the fast track again. Life was great. Then I decided to do a partnership with this guy that I thought knew everything. I was going to do big deals. So I spent 2 years running around like a mad person, working, wheeling, dealing. But then I realized I wasn't making any money. 2 years later, I thought, oh no, I'm not in a pit stop, I'm in a sinkhole. So I did the long, arduous journey back out of the sinkhole. I'm no longer in the fast lane, but I'm in flow. And maybe that's really what it's all about.